Alright, so if you guys are wondering why my 911's got the muscle car stance, here's exactly why. So a little bit unexpected, also unwanted, and also bad timing, but there it is, engine's out. So why do we decide to pull the trigger and pull the engine out? Last weekend was our last meet of the year for the NorCal Porsche guys. They call it the Easy Meet, which is every first Saturday of the month. This one is important because not only the last month of the year, but also a really big toy drive for the kids in the holiday season. The night before working on this car, I thought I was just going to do some small maintenance items. As I was maneuvering around the parking lot to get into the shop, the transmission got stuck in reverse. So if you guys don't know, these 915 transmissions are apparently notorious for getting stuck in reverse gear. So you go in reverse and then you go in neutral at first to try to move the car, and the car ends up stalling because the selector is stuck in reverse, and now you've shifted into 2 gears, so the car can't move anywhere and it stalls out. The fix on these 915s, or I should say how to pop it back out of reverse, remove the reverse switch and then you can put something in there. I've been using a drill bit. This tells you how many times I've done this now. Take out the reverse switch, take out the plunger out of the transmission, put a drill bit in there, and you can pop the shift fork back forward and get it back into neutral. Popped it back into neutral, drove around, finished my service, drove around again, made it home. I was like, good, I'm good for tomorrow. This is just a fluke, right? 5 a.m. the next morning, I rinse off the car. As I'm exiting the driveway, I put it in first to go ahead and go to our Porsche meet, and the car stalls. I immediately felt it as I took it out of reverse, and then I was like, I bet you it happened again. And sure enough, back into first and the car stalled out. Stuck in reverse again as I was leaving my driveway. Another issue this car had, the second gear was kind of weird. When I bought this car, the seller told me about it, where second gear was kind of like, you had to kind of go like click, click into it. A lot of times it wasn't really blocked out of second. It was like you shifted into nothing, and then if you gave it one more tug, it would go into second gear. This transmission never had any problems grinding gear. Basically the only two things, intermittently getting stuck in reverse, which after a lot of miles of me driving it, happened far more frequently, right, back to back. This car and the engine, realistically, with the 2 odometer rollbacks, has 200,000 miles on it. I know at minimum the engine needs a top-end refresh. The transmission wasn't the best. It was definitely showing its age for a transmission with 200K on it. This past weekend, that was finally the last straw for me. We're pulling the engine in trans. And I'm just thinking of it this way. This car has the problem of intermittently getting stuck in reverse. It's essentially undrivable. If I take the engine and trans out, it's also undrivable, so might as well take it out. I guess skipping forward, the big bombshell is we're not doing an engine rebuild. We're actually going to convert this engine to full standalone management. Basically, phase 1 for this car, kind of a proof of concept, getting the car running on standalone drive-by-wire. And then later on down the line, once we have our proof of concept proved out and the bugs worked out, I plan for phase 2, basically the big bad setup, built engine along with ITBs, and I'm sure we'll have a bunch of other fancy ideas to in tandem to that. Our fab and wiring guy, Jerry, who also made the harness and did the fab work on our now award-winning Shop AE86, he's also going to be tackling the brand new wire harness and also standalone conversion on this car. Some things we want to try to achieve with this engine: sequential fueling ignition, drive-by-wire. Converting to standalone, there's going to be a lot of things we can delete and modernize on the engine and also with the chassis. We're going to go with the Link Voodoo Pro. We've had great success with Link across multiple platforms. One of the reasons why we want to step up to the biggest, baddest Link. So 12-cylinder max, dual lambda. This is a 6-cylinder engine, so I want AF sensors on each bank. Dual drive-by-wire, so we're already set up for drive-by-wire with the Voodoo Pro. And then Jerry wrote down 12 auxiliary outputs when set up as a 6-cylinder with direct spark and sequential fuel. So plenty of additional outputs if we want to be extra fancy and add some more outputs to this standalone system down the line. All right, so going standalone, the Voodoo Pro has a MAP map sensor built in, which means we're gonna get rid of this Karman Vortex AFM. So probably tube and then filter straight off of this. Drive-by-wire, I think we can use a Bosch throttle body and all this linkage and brackets can go away. We're going to gain a bunch of functionality with drive-by-wire, such as cruise control. We don't need an idle air control valve anymore. A lot of cool stuff you can do when converting to drive-by-wire. With the standalone, we're gonna go coil on plug. We're probably gonna go with the Japanese coil, like a Denso. So no spark plug wires, no distributor because there's a crank trigger on the back of the engine. Here's the original clutch and flywheel setup. You can see there's 2 rows of teeth and also a dog. There's 2 rows of teeth, one on the pressure plate and then one on the flywheel for crank and cam pickups. Later on down the line, I want to convert the car to electric AC, so we're going to get rid of the AC compressor, all the factory AC stuff, including this big bracket. Some maintenance items. I have a fuel line kit. We may need to change the fuel line kit a little bit. There's stuff Jerry told me we need, like a fuel pressure sensor, but that fuel line kit's going to get rid of all these lines. 40 years old at this point, and you know, unfortunately it is a common problem. These cars will catch on fire because of fuel line failures. Again, we're going to make a engine harness from scratch. I believe Jerry said part of the chassis harness is going to be changed as well. But in the meantime, there seems to be a lot that's a good idea to do while the engine's out. So just off the top of my head, there are weld-in braces that you can do for the rear strut towers in preparation if we ever want to go crazy and go coilovers with this car. We plan for a custom bulkhead connector somewhere around this area to separate the engine loom from the rest of the body side loom, so you can just unplug the big bulkhead connector to remove the engine instead of having to disconnect all this stuff. Similar connector that I have in my AE86. Apparently now's a good time for a torsion bar upgrade while the engine is out. And by the way, if you guys have any other advice on what we should do while the engine is out, please leave it down in the comments below. I'm open to suggestions while this thing's out. I know this heat shield on the rear firewall can also get replaced while the engine's out. That's also a good idea. Probably a good idea to replace this like apron stuff too for the engine tin. So I actually have the transmission apart right now. Why don't we take a look at what that looks like? So main case, a couple other cases. Right here is where the reverse sensor goes in. You can see where you could put a drill bit and punch the shift fork to get your transmission back into neutral if it ever gets stuck in reverse. Long story short, I'm really glad the transmission is actually in excellent shape for 200,000 miles. Although someone in the comments below let me know if there's a fix for 915s that get stuck in reverse. I was expecting to see something really worn, but I'm not seeing it so far. So someone please leave it in the comments below. This year of transmissions new enough that there's actually a integrated speed sensor. We'll show the magnetic pickup on the differential in a bit. Another common problem with these transmissions, so it's common for these bearings to basically spin in the case or ovalize. Really good if you check it out. My case does not have this problem, so I'm just going to replace the 2 bearings and races. And typically the fix for if these have been wallowed out is to send this out to get machined and have sleeves pressed in. But again, fortunately, this case does not have this problem. Also, pretty clean inside. So despite the neglected maintenance, at least it seems like the transmission was taken care of. Usually on a neglected transmission, I'll see the inside caked in sludge. It would look black inside of this thing. So here we are, differential. I haven't had a bunch of time to inspect this, but ring and pinion seem to be in good shape. The trans really didn't make any noise while driving. Again, all the bearings actually look in really good shape too. Usually carrier bearings would make a bunch of noise. Here is the pickup for the speed sensor. With this apart, I'm going to upgrade to an LSD. There's either the cause or basically the go-to most regarded LSD, the guards, no pun intended, the guards LSD, which is like $1,000 more, but it seems like that should be the way I should go, is jump to the end goal and get the guards LSD. But you guys can let me know in the comments below. Pinion depth spacer, and then both of my transmission shafts. Again, I haven't had a ton of time to look at this stuff, but none of the bearings or gears really seem that worn. Again, amazing, because this is got about 200,000 miles on it. My weird second gear problem, the only thing I could see, and let me try to find the spot so you guys can kind of see how it's worn smooth on the synchro. Apparently I've saw in other videos that this synchro ring is supposed to be comparable to 36 grit sandpaper, which obviously you can see the reflection on this. It's near polished smooth. So my second gear issue, the only thing I could think is, you know, the first attempt into second, like the first click, would just be the sleeve riding on the synchro, and the synchro not doing its job. It can't slow down the gear, so we're just riding it out like this. Yeah, there's absolutely no braking action on this right now, and that's just my 2 fingers. And then finally, when you jam it in, you could jam it into second gear. And I know it's tough to tell, but these dog teeth, not terrible from what I'm used to on Japanese transmissions, but the dog teeth do have some wear. All the synchros are gonna get replaced on this transmission. 200K, I might as well replace the sleeves, although at least for me, all these hard parts are like horrendously expensive on this transmission. But you know, buy once, cry once, right? Again, if you guys have any thoughts on you know, preventing the stuck in reverse gear issue on the 915, any upgrades, different gear sets, I haven't done that much research, but apparently some 930 transmission parts are cross compatible and are an upgrade for a 915, so please leave all of it in the comments below. All the rest of our parts. So once again, to sum it up, standalone conversion and then transmission rebuild and upgrade. I've done a lot of transmission rebuilds. We've done a handful of standalone conversions before, but I am absolutely open to suggestions, and I hope you guys can leave all your suggestions and comments below. I'm new to the platform. I'm not new to this, but I'm new to this particular platform. So there's got to be some insider tips, tricks, and advice, and I would absolutely appreciate it, and I'm absolutely open to it. I think it just helps all of us out in the global community to share our knowledge like this. Likewise, anything I find with the transmission or during their standalone conversion, I will reveal it all. There are no secrets here. Appreciate all the support, you guys. I know we're not releasing videos as often as previously, but you know, I guess that is a good thing too. The shop's plenty busy. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is not the most ideal time to do this. The bombshell at the end of the year for me is that we actually have to move shop by April. I've been looking for a new shop space for a long time. You guys who are customers or have known me for a long time know that we've really outgrown the shop. I mean, there's definitely teething issues where we literally cannot grow because we don't have the space for new equipment or to store and take on new cars safely. So yeah, not the most ideal time, but you know, although I am glad for this, you know, support from the community and our local customers especially, who have supported us to this point where we have to grow because business is that good for us, right? If you've talked to me in person before, you know I say, like, I got plenty of problems, but they're all first world problems, so essentially I'm doing fine. Once again, appreciate all the support, you guys. Happy holidays. Catch you guys next time.